so guilty.
What's good, guys? It's Girl Facts. Hope you guys are well. Today we have a special guest. She is a mindset coach and an author. You guys might have recognized Danielle from Love Triangle Series 1 on Channel 4. I am joined by Danielle.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have this conversation because can I just say you was actually one of my favorite casts.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you came in a bit late, but you're still my favorite cast. But before we get into everything, how are you? How are you feeling? How's your bank holiday been?
Yeah. It's been a wild one, to be fair. I feel like there's just been so much going on in my life, like since the show came out. So I was actually meant to be working this bank holiday. However, I decided to not, and just to listen to my body, listen to my mind, and take the weekend off. So I basically just sat and binge watched so much crap. Bridgerton, I binge watched Bridgerton, which I loved. And then yesterday, I went on a day date, but we'll get to that later.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited for this. Yeah. Now, you said that you've come back from the gym. Can I just say, give us the tips for the girlies. How do you look this good to go to the gym, come back looking good at the gym? We need to know.
Oh, thank you. No, so yeah, I just did. I did a leg session, and then I did a sauna and steam, and then I just come back and I have put a little bit of makeup on because I was like, oh god, I can't rock up with no makeup on. So I put a smidge of makeup on.
Okay.
But yeah, here we are.
Well, you look amazing.
Thank you, babe. So do you.
Thank you. Now, first off, I want to ask you, when you hear Love Triangle, what's the first 3 words that comes to your mind?
Trauma. No, I'm joking. No, an experience, definitely an experience. A great lesson, learnt lots. And yeah, just good telly, I guess.
It was definitely good telly, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Of course, everybody wants to know, how did you get on the show, and would you advise anyone to do the dating experiment of Love Triangle?
So how I actually got onto it was actually quite mad. So it was back in the December, it must have been 2022. I was single at the time and posted up like a silly little meme that was basically asking Santa to bring me a boyfriend. And the meme was like something silly, like, don't be so stupid, ask for something more realistic. And then on the bottom of the meme, it was like, oh, can I have a green dragon then, or something like that? And he's like, you can have a red dragon, something really silly. Anyway, yeah. I posted that. Just like shout out to the single girls, do you know what I mean, how hard it is nowadays. And then one of my friends who I know through motorsport, he works on a car show that the production company that was making Love Triangle film, or like produce, I guess. So he messaged me and was like, 1, how are you still single? 2, you need to go on the show. And I was like, 1, tell me about it, and 2, absolutely not. And then anyway, went through, obviously he was like, no, please just like apply, see what happens. And obviously we didn't know it was called Love Triangle. We was told it's called Love Match. And the way it was pitched to us was that it was going to be a humble dating show for older, not obviously ancient and dead, but at the same time not also 18 and going into Love Island. So yeah, older cast members and this really humble, amazing love experience. So obviously I kind of had like Married at First Sight in my head, but the fact that, well, I don't actually know if they actually get married anymore, but the fact of like the whole word marriage, I was like, right, well, I'm not ready for that, but I'm okay to date. And yeah, throw myself into a 4-week experience. So yeah, that's how I got approached. Would I recommend people to go on it? It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. You've definitely got to have thick skin and be resilient. But yeah, why not? Do you know what I mean? If you're struggling in the dating world, then yeah, you know, because Tinder and Hinge and all that jazz, it's just the same shit, different day, isn't it? So yeah, why not spice it up and go on a reality TV show?
I mean, it works for some people. It's worked for some people.
Yes. None of us are obviously all together now. So, but yeah, Married at First Sight, they have good.
I mean, even Love Island, some of them have come out. Yeah, and they're still together.
Exactly. So yeah.
If the opportunity arises when it comes to Married at First Sight, would you have done it or nah?
No, I don't think so. Because I just think the word marriage, and I don't think telling my parents I'm about to marry a stranger, I think they both would have lost their head. Whereas I was like, oh, I'm just going to go on a dating show and like date this guy and live with him for 4 weeks. And they're like, okay, have fun.
No, that's very interesting. Now, obviously, we saw you come in later on the show. When you found out that Mike went on another date, and when you realized that Mike didn't pick you for the first date, did you think to yourself, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing? Like, did you have it in your mind, the fact that you could come back into the experiment, or no?
So the way it was actually told to me, obviously me, Mike and Kelly were obviously all texting at the same time. And
Okay.
in that phase, I had no idea that obviously Mike and Kelly were texting. I'm guessing Kelly had no idea that Mike and I was texting.
Yeah.
So when production called me and told me, oh, I'm really sorry, like the show's been delayed by a week, you won't be moving into the house on this day that we told you so, I absolutely lost my head, because I'd actually just recently signed a new contract for a new job and pushed my start date back 6 weeks so I could do the reality show. Like my boss at the time was amazing and was like, yeah, just go do what you got to do and then start when you want, basically, which is obviously amazing. I had my cake and I was fully eating it. So I went ballistic at production and was just like, what do you need? You've been delayed a week. Like, what sort of organization is this? Because I work in events and organizing. So I was like, I don't understand how you've like, you know, screwed this up so bad that I have to sit at home for a week. Obviously, when I then come up to Manchester, I went to the hotel, and then one of the casting agents come in and told me that Mike had already been here for a week and obviously been dating. They didn't say her name, so I just kept calling her Lady A. And they were like, oh, basically Mike's been dating somebody, blah, 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 and you're coming in as the bombshell. Again, I lost my head, because I was like, this is not what I've signed up for. I don't want to be a bombshell. And my initial reaction, I didn't even know that Mike hadn't picked me. I just thought it was like luck of the draw, and they'd like production had done. I didn't realise Mike obviously picked Kelly first, but now obviously watching the show, I understand why. But yeah, my initial reaction was like, okay, cool. Well, who's my plan B then? Because I was like, obviously Mike's got a plan B, so who's mine? Because I'm not walking into something and not having a backup. And they were like, oh no, sorry, we couldn't match you with anyone else. And I was like, what, am I that awful that there's only one guy in the UK that could match with me? So yeah, that was quite difficult to hear. And then yeah, obviously going to the date again, I didn't know if Lady A and Mike were getting along or not. They didn't obviously tell me that. So when Mike told me on the first date, my face obviously says it all, and that is my immediate reaction, is to be like, well, what the fuck am I doing here then? Like, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but
no, it's all right, don't worry.
But yeah, I was literally like, what am I doing here? And then to be fair, in my interview after, which obviously lots of it got cut out, it was pretty much like, I don't really understand why I'm here. I don't really want to be here. Like, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? This is not what I signed up for. So yeah, it was definitely a fun 24 hours in Manchester hotel.
I feel like as a bombshell, that is like a lot of pressure, because you have to come in like basically like, I don't want to say test, but like it's more of like you come in to basically like see if there's any, if whatever they have going on have a strong connection, and you come in to basically spice it up. Like,
yeah, it's just carnage. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I kept saying that. I was like, I don't want to be the villain. I was like, I'm not here to be a villain. Like,
yeah, and you didn't come across as that at all.
No, well, thank you. But that was all I just kept saying. I was like, this is not what I've signed up for. Like, what is going on? What is going on? So yeah, it was definitely.
Because a lot of the time we see like on like other shows like Love Island, when a bombshell comes in, some people, they get given the narrative of a villain. But I feel like with a lot of people on the show, or this show right here, it wasn't even like that at all. Everybody was just trying to do their thing. Yeah. Basically trying to find love. And yeah, like you seem really genuine. So I don't know, like
that is 100% me. And even though Kelly obviously says that I'm not a girl's girl, I'm definitely a girl's girl. And yeah, the whole time I was just like, I don't understand why I'm here. Like, make it make sense. Because if they're getting on, like, this is the whole point of the show, to find love. So if they're getting on, then why have you done it? Do you know what I mean? So, but obviously it was the principle of the show, and we didn't know it was called Love Triangle. So
yeah.
But yeah,
I think you basically just answered what I was about to ask, because I was going to ask you, how did you feel about coming into the experiment as a second match, as a bombshell? And like, was you skeptical? Was you nervous or a bit hesitant in meeting Kelly for the first time? Did you expect her to give you like a warm reception, or did you like did it feel very intense and very awkward?
Massively intense. And yeah, for me, like obviously hearing that they was getting on so well, I generally like it got I was angry because I was like, okay, you guys have like ruined not Mike and Kelly, but production. Like you've ruined my experience because you're making me come in instantly. My back's up and my walls are up because I was like, well, they're getting on, so I'm not that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I want to go break up something that's working? Because if it was on the other foot, I would really not want that. So yeah, so I was really hesitant. And to be fair, like initially when I first saw Mike, like don't get me wrong, he's, you know, he's good looking, he's a nice guy, but he's not like my drop dead, oh my fucking God, get naked, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, so even when I was like, yeah, he's a nice guy, like he's got nice eyes, do you know what I mean? But I weren't like, you know, oh my God, let's go. Like, no. So yeah, there was lots of hesitancy. Initially the cast wanted me and Kelly to, like, as Kelly's leaving, I arrive and they wanted us to see each other, and I put my foot down and was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, if this girl's upset, I don't feel comfortable walking into this house, and she probably doesn't want to see me at all. Like, why would she want to do that? I was like, no. I was like, that's not nice TV. That's just going to mentally screw us. So I refused to do that. So they sat me in a Starbucks for like 3 hours, obviously waiting for Kelly to film her stuff, leaving the house and leaving. And I was like, I'm not going. So there was quite a few times I put my foot down. I was just like, no, sorry, I'm not playing your games because I don't think, like, yeah, great TV for everyone, but at the same time, the people that are actually living this. And I think obviously because we weren't allowed to talk to the outside world. So like normally, obviously, if you're going through crap, you talk to your best friend or your mum or anything like that. But obviously we wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. So I was just like, no, in my gut, I don't think that that's necessary. So I'm not doing it. So I sat in Starbucks for 3 hours.
That's wild. They actually wanted you to do all of that. And like, I'm actually like, I want to applaud you for actually like sticking to what you were saying, because anybody else could have been like, no, that's more screen time for me. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And you was like, absolutely not. Like, it's not that serious.
No, it's not that serious. Do you know what I mean? Like, our mental health is so much more important. And obviously, me being a mindset coach, I just thought this poor girl, like they like each other. So this poor girl is packing her stuff. Obviously, I didn't know that she was going to be crying, but you know, in my head, I'm like, if I'm putting myself in her shoes, I was like, we don't need to cross paths on a driveway. Like, who's that benefiting? And I was like, no. So to be fair, I do massive shout out to the welfare team because they did really, really look after us, and especially that day. So yeah, Channel 4 probably, but whatever.
It's funny that you said that, because I want to bring it back a little bit, because you said that, you know, like when you saw Mike, it wasn't like, you know, love at first sight. Was it the Toronto accent? Was it the Canadian accent? Like,
well, no. So actually, this is why we was probably matched. I used to live in Canada when I was little, and I had a Canadian boyfriend. So yeah, like the Canadian accent to me, that's, you know, second. Like, I know the accent. Same with Australia. I lived in Australia as a kid as well. So if it's an Australian guy or a Canadian guy, I would have been like, hey, I'm home. But yeah, so yeah, well, me and Mike laughed about it because obviously he lost his mum and I've lost a family member as well. And I remember one day during filming, production was like, oh, so you both like lost somebody. So does that mean that you're building a better connection? And I was literally looking at like the guy who asked the question. I was just like, I'm really sorry, but everyone dies. I was like, that doesn't mean I love him because, do you know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, okay, we can connect on that. But also that's way in the past. Let's look at the future. Like, and yeah, so there was quite a few weird things that they were like, oh, well, this happened to you and this happened to you, so you guys must be in love. And I was just like, where are you getting these statistics? Like, who is the woman that, or the guy that is actually like the love coach, do you know what I mean, or the love matchmaker or whatever? But yeah, we were laughing because yeah, but it was nice because obviously Mike's like a really like fun, happy guy, do you know what I mean? And like, that is me. I'm always like mucking about or whatever. So like, he did make me feel relaxed once I got into the house, which was obviously really nice. But yeah, from the second we got in the house, we were both like, oh, we're just going to enjoy the experience for what it is. Like, and the first couple of days we were quite frosty to each other. We were just friends, just like, do you know what I mean? And he loves a dad joke, and I'm like, oh God, new content, please. Like, but yeah, he's a sweet guy. Like, I'm happy I was on the experience with him, to be fair. Not that I don't like, you know, the rest of the cast are amazing, but yeah, I feel like he made me feel like at ease. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, the fact that, speaking of like production and everything like that, obviously you and Mike had a connection, of course. But do you feel like, after what you're saying right now, do you feel like they were kind of like trying to force the stronger connection, when these times you guys are just taking it slow, you don't want to force it, but they were trying to force it, like
100%. Like they said multiple times, you're not fighting for this, Danny. Like, you know, you need to like work harder on this connection. And I'm just like, nah. Do you know what I mean? I remember there's like one kiss on camera, and they were literally like, okay, so now you're gonna kiss. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, we're not. They're like, yeah, like you're gonna kiss. And I went on for about 10 minutes being like, this is unnatural. Like, I don't want, like, not I don't want to, I wasn't forced to. That's coming across wrong. But at the same time, I was just like, no, like, do you know what I mean? And then finally, in the end, I was like, right, I'm about to kiss you in like 2 seconds, so fucking be ready. And they're like with cameras, like ready to go. And I'm like, there you go, you got it now. Like, so yeah, there was lots of questions, and like, especially when you're doing your OTFs, which is like your little interview by yourself, like they'll just be like planning, like, you've been matched for a reason. Oh, we can see the sparks sparking, and I'm like, can you? But yeah, no. So like I said, like it was nice having Mike, because like obviously after all of like our OTFs and stuff like that, like we'd go back and I'd be like, oh my god, like did they say this to you? And and he'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so it was quite comforting to like talk about what production was telling us to do and stuff. So, but yeah.
Interesting. Now, first off, I want to say, like, can I just say that you really carried yourself very well? Like you say, true to yourself. Even at one point, you even had Kelly's back at one of the dinner parties. Were you shocked or surprised with the comments that she made towards you about calling you like the other woman, and comments here and there? Like, what did you make of some of the comments that she made? Did you just feel like, you know what, it's just emotions, or you felt like, you know what, it's a bit too much?
Like the other woman comment was a bit too much, but obviously that was off camera. So again, I wasn't the one that was I wasn't going to bring it up because it's off camera. So it's he said, she said, and all that kind of bollocks. And I just thought, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, that one stung. And to be honest, once it was said, I was like, right, I'm just going to remove myself and go to bed. And yeah, you know, as a mindset coach, when you do get triggered, like I tell my clients to journal, take yourself away from the situation, like just try and reflect on why potentially somebody's, well, not attacked me, that's again a strong word, but why obviously she's said something like this or whatever. So I think, yeah, the tools that obviously I teach massively help me through the process. And yeah, I would just go to my room, write everything down, and just be like, right, okay, flip it on its head, like why. But yeah, she was hurting massively, and you know, I knew that from the start. So yeah, I was obviously trying to take everything on board from her point of view as well. But then obviously, you know, there's only so much you can take, and we was literally together for, well, I think it was like 6 days in total. Well, we didn't end up being together for 6 days, but we was meant to be together for 6 days. For, you know, 24 hours, like camera crew would go home, and then it's me, Mike and Kelly, and one welfare person in the house. And obviously, you know, everyone's trying to be friendly in a very, very, very pressurized situation. And yeah, sometimes it just got too much. I was just like, right, enough's enough, and I'll take myself to my room. And actually, again, not on camera, but I ended up going into a hotel for 2 days, because I was just like, this isn't doing me any good whatsoever. Like, I can't be here anymore. I need to be away. And then they'd pick me up, bring me back, do some filming bits, and they'd take me back to the hotel. So yeah, but obviously none of that's shown. So yeah.
Now, watching back the reunion and looking back at the whole the whole journey, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the reunion and I just felt like maybe it was the fact that you didn't get much screen time, but it seemed like you didn't actually say much at the reunion. Was it the fact that you was just over it, you was done with the situation, you couldn't be bothered, or it was just the fact, like, you know,
yeah, so
if I say it, then, you know, I don't want to say anything before things blow up. Like, what was going through your mind?
So the reunion was meant to be 4 hours of filming, and it ended up being 9.5. Me, Mike, and Kelly were towards the end of that 9.5 hours. And like drained isn't even the word. Like
Yeah.
my social battery, my patience, my everything was just completely zapped out of me. And when we sat down on the couch, obviously there was a big monologue from one of the cast members, and
Which cast member was that?
it was Kelly, obviously. I did say a lot more, but they cut a lot. But yeah, like you said, like I was just so over it by that point. I was literally just like, I don't fucking want to be here. I don't really care anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody's with Mike. Nobody, like, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, you crack on, say what you've got to say. I was a bit pissed off about the whole them kissing because I generally didn't know that. We'd had quite a few, I think it was 6 weeks between final scene and then the reunion. So I felt like both of them could have reached out. Like Mike obviously could have told, Mike could have obviously told me, like, you know, the truth. Kelly obviously had this like vendetta against me, thinking I'm not a girl's girl. So again, why not reach out and talk to me? Because she claims that we're friends, didn't speak to me once. So I don't know what friendship that is, but anyway. So yeah, I just sat there and I just thought, you know what? And everything that was being said again was off camera. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, he said, she said, fucking, do you know what I mean? The Tweety bird saw, like, I don't care. So I was just like, do what you want to do. But then, like I said, they did cut quite a lot of what I did say. But I was quite happy with the reunion. I was like anxious to watch the reunion because I did speak. So I was like, oh, what are they gonna say? Like, what are they gonna show? But then obviously they didn't show much. So I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, again, it's done now. There's no change in it. So
now it's very interesting that you said obviously we watched the reunion and the whole girls girl. My whole thing is everybody's single in that house. Like everybody's single in that house and you're all in the same position. Do you know what I mean? And I get the fact that it's a very intense situation, and I feel like a few days or 48 hours can feel like a week because you're getting to know that person. So I understand Kelly's point in terms of like how she felt and she had a strong connection with him, but at the same time you're all single, like, and I think with Kelly it was like obviously she was bringing up the age thing, and I totally get where she's coming from. Like she's probably feeling a bit pressured, like, you know, like I want to get married, have kids. But I think from looking at the people's comments, everybody felt like Kelly needs to relax. You know,
she should have been meditating with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. We're all here for the same reason. Well, some people, you know, they were there for the same reason. I think there should have been more compassion with you because you really seem like a lovely girl. Like you didn't come in there to harm anyone. You just come in there for the same reason, and it's just such a shame that you came as a bombshell. I just feel like, I don't know. My next question to you is: have you guys stayed in touch with Kelly? Because I know Kelly posted a picture of the two of you on Instagram. Like, are you guys friends? Did you manage to? Oh,
no, not at all. We have not spoke since the reunion. She did reach out to me. I think it was like 2 days after the reunion, but I was not in a headspace to dive into that at all. So I basically just said thanks, but no, because she said she wanted to meet in London for a coffee or a drink or something, and I was just like, I'm really sorry, but no. And I said, I was like, if I feel differently later on, then I'll reach out, and I never have, because yes, it was obviously a difficult experience for both of us, but I just felt, like I said, if she really had some, you know, like if she was so mad at me like she said that she was at the reunion, I just don't understand, like, why was there not a conversation or anything beforehand to be like, Dan, like, I'm really sorry, but you have really upset me here, like, I thought we were friends, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And then there could have been a conversation, and then we could have gone into the reunion like as a, you know, united front, like we did at the last dinner party. So yeah, I just feel like, no, I'm not about it. And I honestly have no idea why she felt the need to post that post about me saying she appreciates me. I guess obviously because I wasn't a horrible, I'm gonna steal your man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're crying, I don't care, because that's not me at all. Like at the dinner party where I met her, she was like physically shaking, like, and I was just sitting there just like, oh my goodness, like this poor girl, like she's really not okay. And then obviously when the comment came out about her age and stuff, I was just like, girls, like, obviously I'm close with Amy. Me, Amy and Danica, we're still really, really close. But at the same time, I was like, no, Amy, like, look at this girl. Like, she's not okay. So let's don't throw shade when somebody's already fucking, do you know what I mean? So yeah, so no, we're not friends because I generally have no idea why she posted that, and I don't follow her. She doesn't follow me. So I just thought it was a bit.
She doesn't follow you, but she posted a picture of you.
No, she doesn't follow me at all. No. And it got sent to me by somebody and they were like, oh my God, like, look at this. And then I was like, well, do I comment? And then I was like, no, I don't, because I don't agree with what you're saying.
You know, the show's been filmed for a year ago, but at that time, you know, after filming the reunion, what was it that you was frustrated or annoyed about when it comes to your situation with Kelly? Did you feel like you guys already squashed it, you guys were good, and then you're coming on camera at the reunion, you're like,
yeah,
okay.
I just don't know why it needed to be like massively aired out on camera. Do you know what I mean? You've generally got a problem with me, then pick up the phone, text me, I'll meet you for a coffee, let's talk this through. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel that, I personally wouldn't have gone to the reunion and been like, you're not girls girl, blah blah, after 6 weeks. Like, you've been angry for 6 weeks, that's not good for your health. Do you know what I mean? Like,
for the health.
Like, I just don't understand it. So, but I never will, because I meditate and journal and I feel good. So
I love that. I actually love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, what's been your highlights being on the show?
With the friendships that I made, and I was actually really sad that they didn't show, like, you know, friendships being built, and it was just all about like love. I feel like there could have been a few more episodes to actually show else was going on, because okay, we all got there for love, but obviously not everyone found love. Well, nobody. So yeah, friendships 100%. Like, obviously me, Danica and Amy are really, really close, and then also head of welfare, he like turned into like my big brother, and without him generally wouldn't have been able to survive the show. So yeah, there was lots of friendships made, and yeah, it was nice to live in an absolute banging house for 3 weeks. That was nice, a highlight.
Yeah, the series was very short. Like, I remember when it got to episode 9, I was like, is that it? Like, what?
Yeah, it was a bit upsetting because there's so much stuff that wasn't shown, you know, good and bad, but like loads of stuff that wasn't shown. And I just felt like, I don't know, some storylines, like for instance, I didn't see, well, nobody saw, but like, I wanted to see Mike and Kelly's date. Obviously we saw the first date, but like when me and Mike went alpacas, they obviously must have done something. I think they went to a Sharks game, actually, which is obviously the basketball team that Mike used to play for and stuff, but that wasn't shown. So I feel like they're like the first couples didn't really get much in depth like stuff. And then I feel like the rest of it was like a little bit rushed, to be honest. So it's a bit of a shame, but I don't know how TV works. Maybe it's more money for more episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because it's the first series as well, so I think they were trying to test it out and see, could we bring more. I'm not gonna lie, I only found out about this show a few weeks ago and I was annoyed because I was like, this show deserves more promo. Like, how is this show and this reunion this banging and you don't promote it properly? Like, Channel 4, you guys got budget, like, and you guys didn't promote it properly. Like, I know they had budget and you guys stayed in a nice villa, a nice house, and I'm like, so where's the budget to promoting the show? Because a lot of people were like, what's this? Like, everybody was shocked, like nobody knew about it because it was back in April that it was shown, and people didn't find out about it until like nearly end of May. Like,
it was madness. So I don't really know how it works, but sponsorship, I don't know. That's how it works in motorsport. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should have got some sponsors.
Now, obviously, you kind of answered my question, but is there anything else you wish was shown on camera that didn't get shown, like good or bad, in terms of your experience or like anything?
Like me and Danica had a really nice park date. Like beautiful, well, a date obviously, but a park outing. So that is a shame that wasn't filmed, because it was generally like one of my like highlights of the show. Me, Mike and Kelly went on a spa date, all 3 of us.
Not spa date.
Yeah, we all went on a spa date, which that was actually horrific, so I'm really happy it wasn't shown.
Nah, production. They knew exactly what they were doing. Like, what?
Yeah.
3 of you on a spa date. Like,
Yeah, so that
Maybe
was
trying to cause some drama. Was there any drama in that episode, or like?
yeah, it wasn't a pleasant, relaxing day.
They were forcing the drama out of you guys. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was a testing experience, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But then I was so happy that I wouldn't be half naked, obviously, because I had a bikini on. I wouldn't be half naked on national TV or international TV, because obviously it was shown in Australia as well. So I was actually really happy that it got axed. What else though? I don't know. Like, I can't really remember. Like, it was so long ago. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there was definitely bits that didn't make the cut. And like, for instance, like, nobody understood. Like, obviously, when I said no to Mike, and I was like, we haven't had a connection this week, it's because for 2 days we were in hotels, so I hadn't even seen him. So, and obviously they're not going to air that, but at the same time, like, this is vital information, because otherwise people are like, well, what do you know, like, what's gone on? So yeah, there was lots of things that weren't shown, but I don't know.
No, for real. Like, a spa date is supposed to be a relaxing experience. They came there to trigger your anxiety.
100%. Yeah, it was mental. The spa was great though. Like, it was nice. It sort of took over the whole place. And yeah, the massage, the lady who gave us all a massage, well, obviously we had separate ladies, but my lady was amazing. And I was just like, this is so needed. But then at the same time, I was just so tense, because I was like, there's cameras on me and I'm getting a massage. Like, I was just waiting, like when you put your hole in the head, I'm waiting for a camera to come in. It didn't, but I was just like, oh my God. So yeah, I was not relaxed at all.
I'm guessing you went to the welfare team after that, because I would.
Well, to be fair, I think by the time we got home, it was like 9:30 at night. So I just went straight to bed and was just like, bye, Mike and Kelly. Do what you want downstairs. I don't care. I'm going to bed. Honestly, like, most nights, like, I would come in and I'd be like, right, you guys can chat. I'm going to bed. And then that night I was like, I can't even speak like a word. I don't want dinner. I just want to go to bed. So yeah. So to be fair, I'm surprised Mike didn't choose her, because he spent more time with her than he did me.
Yeah. But also I do, I try to understand Mike's position, but I just felt like when it comes to his communication, I did feel like, in my opinion, he was playing games a little bit. But that's my opinion as a viewer. But you probably know more than I do, because you was there, you know what happened off camera. But as a viewer, it was like, now Mike, like, can you just be honest with these two girls? Like, you know what I mean? But
yeah, it's hard for him, because there was multiple times that he had come to a decision, and then it was like, no, but what about, like, production? What about this? And what about this? And so yeah, and yeah, I did feel for him, because I wouldn't want to be in his situation. Like, if he generally had a connection with both of us, do you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously quite a tricky one. And he is just a really, really nice guy. Like, he generally doesn't want to hurt anyone, which I can relate to. But then obviously sometimes then it just becomes a bit like, no, you need to hurt someone now. Like,
yeah, basically.
Let's go.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
So obviously in the reunion, you mentioned that you guys did have contact after. If it wasn't for, like, okay, obviously now you're dating somebody, but back then, if it wasn't for like the busy schedules and just like, the schedules being tight, do you feel like perhaps it could have worked on the outside world, or are you probably thinking, nah, it's not for me, no way?
Like, in the house, obviously you're in a pressurized bubble, and you do have lots of people in your ear telling you this, telling you that. And yeah, we finished the show, and it was actually madness, because I have a younger brother, and it was his birthday, and I'd bought him basketball tickets to the finals in London, and obviously Mike was presenting there. So I said that on the first date that I met Mike. I was like, oh, you play basketball? I was like, madness, I'm taking my brother to the playoff finals, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? I'm presenting there. But again, that wasn't shown. So we knew we was going to see each other. Like, I think we finished filming on the Thursday, and we knew we was going to see each other on the Sunday, because we were both going to this event. And he was like, oh, I'll hook you guys up with VIP. And I was like, cool, great. Make my brother's birthday even better. This is great. So yeah, we caught up then. Obviously met my brother. I met his friends, which was nice. And then obviously on the Monday he went back up to Sheffield, and I obviously stayed down here in London. And yeah, we FaceTimed like a bit. But I'm very like, once my guard's up, my guard's up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is probably a bad trait to have, but I was just like, if I'm not if I'm not madly in love, then I'm not in love. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not happening. Like, I either fall hard or I don't fall at all. So I knew in the back of my head that I would have to really, really work at sort of trying to erase what we'd just been through to like keep going. And then we just had a couple disagreements via FaceTime, which we'd never argued in the house. So I was like, what is this? Do you know what I mean? And then I was just like, look, we've been through a tough time together, but like, I don't see this going anywhere. So I'm sorry, like, but no. And then he took it on the chin and was like, I completely understand. Like, I'm grateful that I obviously met you in the house, whatever. But and then we we remained friends to the reunion, and then I went a bit sour after the reunion because I didn't feel like he had my back on the couch. Obviously, he did say that one comment, being like to Kelly, being like, I don't think.
Bit or something like that.
I can't remember what he said, but he did say something. But at the same time, like, she honestly went on for about a 20-minute monologue telling me that I'm a terrible human being and I'm this and I'm that and blah 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 blah, blah. And I was just sitting there just like
it's been 9 hours and all I want to do is eat and go to sleep.
You know what I mean? I was actually meant to be, I was working at the Formula One that weekend, so I was just like, I just fucking want to go home so I can go to bed and then go to the Formula One. I was like, I couldn't give a flying fuck anymore. Like, get me out of here. So I did feel a bit hurt by him at the reunion. So I don't think we actually spoke until about November. And then finally I reached out and was like, look, obviously this is coming out soon, so I think we need to have a heart-to-heart, sit down. Is there anything else I don't know about? Like, am I going to be sitting watching telly being like, what the fuck was, do you know what I mean? And I was like, let's just meet up and tell each other everything. And then, we met up and we was just like, we agreed to obviously remain friends and support each other when the show comes out, because like, obviously I have support from Danica and I have support from Amy, but they don't know what actually went on in our house because they wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? So I was happy that me and Mike that we have remained friends, and supported each other while the show was out. So there's no bad blood towards him. Pardon?
Are you guys still in touch now or no?
A like of an Instagram post or whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is, basically.
Yeah. So obviously I'm in a new relationship. I'm pretty sure he's seen someone. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but I probably shouldn't have said that. But but he's happy. So so that's it really.
Well, speaking on the outside world, on a brighter note, you are dating somebody new. So tell us more about him. Where did you meet him? Give us the gossip. We want to know.
So I've known him for a few years actually, and he's a friend of a friend, and I've known him for a few years, and funnily enough we actually met in Manchester, which I think is hilarious because obviously that's where Love Triangle was filmed. And we just went on a date and then it's just gone from there really. So but I'm definitely the happiest I've ever been. I'm really grateful for the show because it obviously taught me massively how to communicate how I feel, and obviously if it is a sticky situation, or not sticky situation, but if it's like an awkward time, or if like we've never had a like full-blown argument, but obviously we've had like disagreements a couple times, but like when I'm in that, I'm like, right, okay, I'm hearing what you're saying, however I feel, and it's always I feel. So I'm grateful for the show because before that I would have just been like, fuck you, do you know what I mean, and like just go mental. So I've learned lots and it's definitely helped with my relationship. So super grateful, and buzzing to see where this goes. Get your hats, girls. Well, not hats, people don't wear hats to weddings anymore. Why do they say that? I don't even know why they say that, but I'm excited.
So are you letting us know that this could be a potential husband, or?
I'm down, like.
Oh,
yeah
so cute.
No, amazing. He's a really good guy, so I'm lucky to be with him. So
you look
and
very
he supportive about this as well, which obviously this can't be easy for new people, and it's funny because quite a lot of the cast are now in new relationships, so there was like a group of us just like, oh my god, like how's the new boyfriend or new girlfriend finding this, da, 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 da. So that was quite nice actually as well, to sort of have that support within the cast, but a sort of separate support system. So that was really nice. But no, he's been a dream, so it's good.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm happy for you. I think that's what explains the glow up. That's what explains the glow up. That's why you're glowing so much, right?
Yeah. It's not the blusher, it's just I'm in love.
I love that. Now, obviously, other than being on Love Triangle Series 1, you're also a mindset coach and an author. How did that come about, and why did you decide to write your own book?
So 2019 was probably the hardest year in my life. I lost a family member. I went through quite a bad breakup. And yeah, basically that Christmas, I was just like, I can't pretend to be happy mum and open socks. Like, I need to just get away. So my mum was really understanding and was like, yeah, go do what you got to do. And also I was like looking after my sisters. Basically a family member died, and then it sort of left me to pick up and like help with my dad, like look after my sisters. So I just felt at 26 like I had so much on my shoulders, and I just felt really lost. Like, I didn't want to talk to my friends about it because none of my friends at 26 had two children that weren't theirs. They was obviously all still having a normal 26-year-old life, like going out and having fun and stuff. I was struggling obviously from the breakup. So anyway, yeah, basically 2020 I come back from this trip, and my mum obviously was worried about me, so she'd got in contact with some life coaches, because I've been to like bereavement counselling and the waiting list. They were like, yeah, you're on the fast track waiting list, and I still hadn't heard anything, and it was like, I don't know, 3 months down the line or something. So I went to a private life coach, and she taught me how to journal and all that kind of stuff, and I've always been like quite creative. So instead of like journaling how well, not normal, but like how, you know, it's sort of told to be journaled, I wrote it as a book, like as a story, sorry. So I like characterized myself even more, characterized like everything that was going on, and just made it a bit more dramatic, basically. And then I ended up getting a new life coach, and she knew my publisher, and I read out a journal, like a journal I'd wrote. I can't speak, but basically I read it to her. And she was like, oh my God, Danny, like, this is beautiful. She was like, you need to speak to my friend. He's a publisher, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, don't be so stupid. I was like, nobody wants to read about my life. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not Anne Frank. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing tragic's happening. And she's like, no, honestly, like, you've got a story, like, you need to share it. So spoke with him, and he was like, yeah, this is amazing, but you need to write it as you. Like, it can't be a story because people won't relate. So I was like, no, I can't do that, because obviously it involves my dad, my sisters, like lots of people. And I was like, no, I can't do that to my family. And then I thought, fuck it, why not? So I rewrote the book, and published it in 2021. And it's been amazing. Got into Waterstones, which was really cool. I got to take my two little sisters down there and like show them that I was on the shelves and stuff, which they were like over the moon. Obviously on Amazon. Got out into Barnes and Noble as well in America. It did a lot better than I expected it to do. And yeah, obviously now it's just quite a nice business card, really, and goes hand in hand with my mindset work. Because I'm like, oh, well, I wrote a book about it, so you should probably work with me.
Yeah. But, I love that. It's a massive accomplishment as well, like to write a book and making a difference. So have you got any plans on writing another one? Or
I did. I've got quite a few ideas as to what to write. I think, though, the first book, I sort of made it because the waiting list for bereavement was so long, well, the waiting list for counselling was so long, or therapy, that I was like, this book is sort of like a stepping stone. So if anyone actually does feel as bad as I did, then they can pick up a book for $8.99 or $9.99, whatever it is, and they can read it within a day, because it's not massive, and I'm just sharing what I do to obviously help myself before they obviously actually get to a proper professional. So there was like more of a, this book needs to be written, whereas now I'm like, okay, yeah, I could write a book about self-love, and I could write a book about relationships and dating, because those have been few ideas, but I'm just like, is it needed? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone knows they can have a bath or go to the gym, or, you know, have a smoothie, and then they'll probably feel better. Do you know what I mean? Like, do I need to write that book? Do you know what I mean? At the minute, yeah, there's ideas, but nothing's like pressing as to, oh, I need to write this book. And like, my publisher does keep saying like, oh, come on, let's do something. I'm like, nah.
You know,
so I'll go on reality TV instead. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I might write a book about that, to be fair.
You never know. It
really works. But yeah.
It's very interesting, because speaking about journaling, because I remember, like, I think journaling has helped me a lot within the last 4 years, 5 years. I never used to journal. Maybe when I was like a kid, like in my early teens, childhood days. But as in like now, like journaling is like one of my biggest priorities. Like literally, like it's a must for me, because I remember in my early 20s, I couldn't control my emotions. Like I'm like, but then journaling calms me down. It's very therapeutic. Would you agree? And can be very therapeutic as well.
100%. Like getting whatever's going on in your mind and getting it down on paper gives you clarity. It can calm you down. You know, even like in the morning, sometimes I do like a brain dump. So I'll literally wake up and I'm like, shit, I've got so much to do today. And I like write literally everything down. Could be put a wash on, go gym. Do you know what I mean? To literally empty my brain onto a piece of paper and then just highlighting what's priority. And I'm like, oh, cool, I've literally got to do 2 things today. Do you know what I mean? Like, but in the morning you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, so yeah, it's massively helped me. And then like, yeah, just reflecting on situations, like how did I feel in that moment? Why did I feel like that? Like, where's that coming from? What have I been triggered? Like, just actually just writing all this down and like getting a bit of like a spider diagram, let's say. Yeah, it's massive. And it's not just, you know, dear diary, I feel depressed today. Like there's so many different ways you can journal, and it, you know, it's not just, you know, like you would as a teenager be like, dear diary, you know, I got GCSE and I'm stressed. Like so many different ways to do it. So maybe I should write about a book about that, just journaling.
Yeah, I feel like people have different perceptions of journaling. Like you said, like people would write dear diary when some people would start off journaling talking about showing gratitude and things like that, and then just expressing how they feel. So it's like a bit different, you know. So what's next for Danielle? You know, you have come out of the show. What's life been like after the show? You're in a new relationship. What's next for you?
To be honest, I don't really know, which I'm quite enjoying. I'm just like literally going with the flow. Yeah, happy relationship. I've got a Bali trip coming up in August with my best friend, so that should be fun. But just going with the flow and seeing what's going on. I'm so busy with work, which is obviously good. But yeah, I definitely, at the end of last week, I did feel a bit burnt out. I feel like work was a bit hectic, and I feel like obviously the show coming out and just have so much emotion, good and bad. And then just sort of like it sort of like calming down a bit. I was just like, oh my God, like I'm flat. My battery is flat. So having this weekend just to chill has been really nice. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The world is my oyster. Do you know what I mean?
And you deserve a break as well. You deserve it. You know, you're a woman that does many things, and of course with the show coming out, was the reception good when you came out? Were the people?
Yeah, I personally haven't seen anything like too negative, but then also I haven't really been looking. I know my mum was like my biggest advocate and was literally like scouring the web, like, come on, who's slagging my daughter off? And then she'd find stuff, like not really slagging me off, but she'd find stuff and be like, Dan, did you see this? And I'm like, Mum, I'm not interested, I don't want to see. But yeah, I personally haven't seen anything horrible, and I haven't had anyone text, call, or shout at me. So I think, yeah, everyone that has watched it, obviously that's close to me, and some that aren't even that close to me. I had one girl the other day message me on Instagram being like, did you used to go to my school? I'm pretty sure it's you. And I was like, yeah, I went to that school. And she was like, oh, you was amazing. So yeah, everyone that has spoke to me has been really polite and amazing and sweet. So yeah, thank you everyone.
That's great to hear. I want to say thank you so much, Danielle, for coming onto my platform. I know you're very busy. Can I just say as well, I feel like we got to see more of you in this interview than we did on the show. Like, I feel like on the show they made you out to be like you're some, and you've got some big personality, big actor energy. When did we not see this on the show? Like,
I said that when I came out. I said to my mum, I was like, am I like a really like quiet, boring human being? I was like, because I felt like at those dinner parties, I was like, I'm a mouse. Like, I am so quiet. And my mum was like, who was at these dinner parties? Because you are not quiet. You are not boring. Like, what are you saying? And I was just like, oh. So yeah, when I come off the show, I had like a massive like identity crisis, being like, maybe I need to be louder. And they're like, no.
No, they didn't give you much camera time, because you are like, man, I would love, I would have loved to see all of this. Don't get me wrong, I loved seeing you on the show, but I would love to see all this personality, even like your conversation with the girls when you guys had your girls' day out.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to Danielle than this. Ain't no way. This is just Danielle. Like, no way. Before you go, I just want to ask you one more question. You know, now that you've found love, what advice do you have for the young people out there, or for people in their 20s, you know, feeling like, you know what, I haven't found love, I'm not feeling lucky, you know, finding love, and then seeing your journey, seeing you on the show, like, and then finding love in their 30s, like, what advice do you have for the people out there, like, feeling like, you know what, I just want to give up, like, I'm not gonna find love?
I would say don't ever give up, and also like don't pressurize yourself. Like 20s, enjoy yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like I had so much fun until I didn't, but yeah, until I was 26. But I was just living my best life, like going on those holidays. Like I think, you know, your girls' holidays, your guys' holidays, they're so important to like shape you and grow you as a human. And then yeah, like it will come, which I know obviously as a single person, I used to hate it when people are like, oh, like don't look for it. And I'm just like, well, if I'm not looking for it, then how am I going to find it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you lose your keys, you're not looking, you're not going to find your keys. Like, so I used to like really hate when people said that. But at the same time, like, I generally wasn't looking. And then he was actually in front of me all this time. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I don't know, just go with the flow. Like, it will happen. Nobody's going to really die alone. Do you know what I mean? Like, we will find love at some point. So yeah, just chill.
I love that.
There's egg freezing now as well, so we've got it in the bag, girls. We're fine.
I love that. Well, thank you so much once again, Danielle. Honestly, it means a lot. Any last words? Where can the people find you? Where can the people find your book? If people want to book you as the mindset coach, where can they find you?
Yeah, so obviously Instagram. I have a website which is www.daniellesimpson.com. The book is in Amazon. It's online in Waterstones. It was on shelf, but it's not on shelf anymore, so it's online online. But yeah, just drop me a DM. That's probably the best way to reach me.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Have a blessed rest of the week.
Great, and you.
Thank you so much. Bye.